Coming up, when will President Trump make a move in Syria? What he's now saying on Twitter. Plus, Governor Scott holds a campaign rally in Sarasota, what he's saying to voters. And goodbye and good riddance. Several notable hurricane names are now retired. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us today. Our top story today at noon, the world is waiting to see when and how the U.S. will respond to the suspected chemical weapons attack allegedly carried out by Syria's leader on his own people. President Trump warning close Syrian ally Russia to be ready and then tweeting that a response may not be coming soon. ABC's Janae Norman has the latest from Washington.
A head fake by the president over a possible showdown in Syria, previously warning a forceful response to a chemical attack was imminent, putting Russia on notice, tweeting about missiles that are nice and new and smart, the U.S. military on standby.
Why is the president telegraphing his military intentions on Twitter?
Again, the president has not laid out a timetable and still leaving a number of other options on the table.
But now President Trump tweeting never said when an attack on Syria would take place. Could be very soon or not so soon at all.
There's a tactical concern, ma'am, that innocent people, we don't add to any civilian deaths and do everything humanly possible to avoid that. We're trying to stop the murder of innocent people.
But the Syrian military is in a more defensive posture, repositioning warplanes ahead of anticipated action. A U.S. destroyer is already in the Mediterranean. A French warship is off the Lebanon coast, even possibly U.S. and British submarines. And French planes launched from Jordan, British from Cyprus.
Assad was given a warning a year ago. He didn't heed that warning, and so the president's going to have to go back in with something that's going to make more of an impression on Mr. Assad.
The Assad regime denies using chemical weapons and even called pictures from the attack fake. But French President Macron said France has proof chemical weapons were used. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
Vice President Mike Pence is leaving for a trip to Latin America today in place of President Trump, who will stay in the U.S. to oversee the response to Syria. Vice President will attend the 8th Summit of the Americas in Lima, Peru, and then travel to Colombia in South America. He'll be joined by Ivanka Trump, who will discuss women's empowerment in the region. Vice President will return to that region again in May to visit Brazil. And remember, you can download our app for more information on breaking news and first alert weather forecast. You can go to the App Store and just look for WWSB or My Suncoast. Here on the Suncoast today, Governor Rick Scott already campaigning for the U.S. Senate. Governor speaking at Marine Concepts this morning to supporters. Scott officially kicking off his campaign on Monday. The Republican taking on the incumbent, U.S. Senator Bill Nelson, a Democrat. We asked the governor what he plans to do in his last year as governor to further the program designed to arm teachers in Florida public schools. Here's what he had to say.
And my goal is when we find out exactly how many people are going to go through this training program, we will be able to add even more money later this summer as we know how many people are going to use that. That was a total of $67 million, so we'll see how much of that's being used.
Since Governor Scott took office, he claims taxes have been cut by more than $10 billion and businesses have created more than 1.5 million new jobs during the recovery from the recession. The city of Venice already bracing for this year's hurricane season. The city has hired a structural engineer to determine if the Venice Community Center can withstand a Category 3 storm, so the city can use it as a shelter. The engineer said the building does need a few minor upgrades. Despite that, Sarasota County emergency management officials say they would not use this building as a shelter anyway, since it's on the island of Venice. They're worried the building could become inaccessible in the event of a strong storm, especially if one of the island's bridges is damaged.
Venice has 3 bridges that can take you off the man-made island.
Depending on the movement of a storm, tidal surge could move up through the pass and around into the area affecting bridges, boats. There's debris that can hit bridges.
Sarasota County leaders say they're working to find a building off of the island of Venice to serve as a shelter should a hurricane come our way. New at noon, several hurricane names are now retired after last year's busy storm season. Harvey, Irma, and Maria caused more than $200 billion in damage across the country and elsewhere in the Caribbean. Now those names will never be used again, along with Nate, after the World Meteorological Organization's Hurricane Committee officially retired the names today. In all, 86 hurricane names have now been retired. Good riddance, right, for those names.
Absolutely. I think one of the interesting things is that at the beginning of the hurricane season, you know, we were talking earlier about the hurricane forecast, it was going to be considered a very lame hurricane season. And there you go, you know, it's like 200% above average.
Anything but,
we had to retire all those names.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully we won't be retiring any names this season. That would be nice if we did. And also kind of interesting too, the last one there, Nate, that was a Category 1 storm. So it wasn't that strong, a storm, but it just dumped tremendous amounts of rain, which led to a lot of deaths. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. We have across our region just gorgeous weather. I mean, does it really get any better than this? I don't think so. Plenty of blue sky out there. Lakewood Ranch webcam put into motion shows the rising sun leading to the blue skies and low humidity. Temperatures mild this afternoon, coming in probably in the low 80s. Just a few fair weather, very few fair weather clouds, basically wall-to-wall sunshine across the area. Now, to the south of us, there may be a scattered shower or two. That caused by a pretty strong easterly wind flow developing now. And our humidity will start to go up over the next 24 hours. Nighttime lows tomorrow will be warmer than they were this morning. This morning was kind of cool and crisp out there. It was kind of nice, but I don't think we'll be seeing that quite as impressive tomorrow morning in terms of cooler temperatures. We'll probably be in the mid-60s instead of the upper 50s. And then as we head into Saturday, that moisture will increase further, and I think we'll see a lot more clouds on satellite by Saturday. Local temperatures, 78 degrees in Sarasota, 76 degrees in Bradenton, 76 in Myakka, and 75 degrees in Inglewood. We'll probably top it out today at about 82 officially, the airport, I'd say, and that'll be around 3 o'clock, and we'll have some very nice temperatures around. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
All right, John, thank you. It's technology that could save hours of man time and help protect you during the coming hurricane season. New sand machines will now take the place of people who would normally have to fill thousands of sandbags by hand. ABC 7's Marla Spence joins us with more.
Filling sandbags in Manatee County during hurricane season will now be a thing of the past. The county is buying 5 sandbagging machines. These are the machines by Bircham Bagger that's being purchased by the county. All 5 of them are costing the county more than $99,000. The purchase is to make hurricane preparations easier this year. During Hurricane Irma, more than 100 county employees and volunteers filled 150,000 sandbags by hand. It took 5 days to get all of those bags filled. This hurricane season, the county wants to cut down on the time and the manpower used to prepare for storms. Just one machine will fill approximately 750-pound sandbags per hour with a team of 5 staff members. With all 5 machines and 25 staff members, 42,000 50-pound sandbags will be produced in just 12 hours. Distribution sites for sandbags this hurricane season will also be changing. Those sites will be the Bradenton Area Convention Center and Bennett Park. I'm Marla Spence reporting in Manatee County for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Marla, thank you. Happening today, the Antiques Roadshow hosting an outdoor event at the Ringling. Antique lovers bringing their finds or family heirlooms to the event. To find out how much they're worth, each of them got a ticket from the PBS show to attend, which you need to get in today. PBS filming all of those evaluations to air at a later date. Popular community event in Manatee County returns tonight. Supper with the Sheriff will give county residents the opportunity to talk about the issues affecting them or their neighborhoods with Sheriff Wells and other senior staff members with the department. Supper with the Sheriff starts at 6 p.m. at the Police Athletic League on 13th Avenue East in Bradenton. Still to come in your Suncoast News, how computers could help diagnose a deadly cancer and save patients time. Plus, a home in Central Florida up for sale that's being called a Disney lover's dream. We'll show you why when we come back.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. and call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Fun for the whole family. The 26th Annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, benefiting special athletes of Sarasota County. Fossil vendors, arts and crafts, food, children's games, and live entertainment with headliners the Gator Creek Band on Friday night, Rockin' Rogues, Maiden Cane, Glass Onion, Kettle of Fish, Paisley Craze, and the Boogeymen. Admission $4, children 12 and under free. Parking is free. The annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, April 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Venice Airport Festival Grounds.
The La Musica International Chamber Music Festival, the annual celebration of a distinctive cultural gem in Sarasota, with renowned musicians from around the world. April 9th through April 18th at the Sarasota Opera House. Visit lamusicafestival.org, click on Festival, open tickets, and get your seats now.
Get to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota for big savings on new Ram trucks during the spring sales event. Shop the area's largest selection of new Ram trucks. Get the all-new redesigned 2018 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $23,999. Or save big and get up to $12,400 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota today.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
It's just a beautiful day outside. Lots of sunshine, temperature now at 78 degrees, and a dew point value coming in at 54. 54, so terribly comfortable, that's wonderful. We even had some dew points this morning that were in the 40s, upper 40s, 48 degrees early on this morning. With temperatures and dew points like that, because the dew point is directly related to relative humidity, and the relative humidity is at 43%, it just feels fantastic. Even when the temperatures climb into the 80s, it still feels so very comfortable. And plus, in addition to that, the winds are a little breezy, coming in east now at about 7. Now, eventually, that easterly wind flow is going to bring us a little bit more humidity. We'll show you that in just a second. And that will make it feel a little stickier as we head into the weekend, but still, it's going to be very pleasant. 75 degrees in Wauchula, 77 in Arcadia. Myakka coming in at 76, 75 Parrish. Bradenton at 76, so's Lakewood Ranch, so's Venice. Northport coming in at 77, and Inglewood coming in at 75. Not much in the way of any kind of cloud cover or rainfall across the west coast of the state of Florida, and I don't think we're going to see any. The air is still very dry. And the only place where the air is a little bit more juicy is the east coast and stretching down into the Florida Keys. And the reason for that is we have a very deep layer in the atmosphere of an easterly wind flow, and that easterly wind flow is kind of picking up moisture on its long fetch across the Atlantic waters, picking up that moisture, slinging it back in this direction, and creating this kind of rain shower activity that we're getting. Very light stuff, and it tends to die out very quickly as it moves over land and gets cut off from that moisture pool. We don't see much in the way of any kind of chance around here today. Maybe a few fair weather clouds come by. That's really about it. We're looking basically at just wall-to-wall sunshine. Satellite view in the Gulf waters, just clear skies out there. And here, because of the way the winds kind of converge as they get closer to land, we get this little trough of low pressure, in a sense, that builds out here in the Atlantic. Otherwise, we're just looking at a continuation of fine weather through the afternoon. 81 degrees, we'll call it, by about 3 p.m., maybe 82, something like that. And then inland temperatures maybe just a little bit warmer. Full sunshine, you know, wall to wall with just a few, peppered with a few fair weather clouds. 76 degrees by 7 p.m. should be a beautiful sunset. Gorgeous. Maybe a little bit of a sea breeze developing this afternoon right along the coastline. And then 67 degrees as we head into the midnight hour. Over the course of the next couple of days, here's what we'll see is that easterly wind kind of continues at really all locations across the region. Maybe a little bit of an onshore breeze here with a sea breeze in the afternoon. And then as we head into tomorrow, I think we'll start to see a little increase in cloud cover, just a little bit, as we start to moisten the atmosphere with moisture brought over from the Atlantic coast. And that trend will continue on Saturday as well, and I think I might even get a little humid Saturday afternoon. We'll look for an east wind coming in at 5 to 10 knots. We'll look for a moderate chop with 2 to 3 foot seas. So here's the forecast, and here's the thing. We have several nice days in a row of beautiful weather. We moisten things up on Saturday. And then another front, a more potent front, approaches here on Sunday. We'll call it a first alert weather day. There could be severe weather. It's a little early to define whether or not we will, but the probability is increasing. And certainly we have a good chance of seeing thunderstorm activity, so we'll watch Sunday carefully. And that brings in some cooler air for Monday, Tuesday, and even on Wednesday. Monday, look at there, daytime high could be in the upper 60s. Scott?
Wow, thank you so much, John. In HealthSmart, could computers help diagnose a deadly cancer, save time, and actually be a little more accurate than the human eye? ABC's Arlette Saenz has more.
You know someone affected by this disease. In certain states, an estimated 10% of women were diagnosed with cervical cancer in 2014. It is caused by HPV, human papillomavirus, and diagnosed by a pap smear, looking at a few cervical cells under a microscope. Or it turns out with a computer. New research looks at how computers stack up to humans when detecting precancerous cervical cells. The computer is taught what normal and abnormal cells look like. And the study shows that the computers did just as well and maybe even better than the human eye. Doctors are hopeful that this new technology will improve the speed without negatively impacting the accuracy of this life-saving screening measure. Remember, the HPV virus now has one of the most effective vaccines in recent history, and those who get the shots before age 15 may not have to worry about cervical cancer. But until more have the vaccine, the computer can help. With this Medical Minute, I'm Arlette Saenz, ABC News.
Pharmacists at CVS will soon have a new way to help patients save money on prescriptions. The drugstore chain is rolling out a new program that goes beyond just substituting generic drugs. The new software will look for all kinds of less expensive options, and then pharmacists will be able to ask doctors if they can make the switch. The program will be rolled out across the country over the next few months. Now to a food warning you need to know about. The FDA is recalling banquet dinner products that may be contaminated with bone and other materials. More than 135,000 pounds of Salisbury steak from Conagra brands are now being recalled. The main product, banquet family-size Salisbury steaks with brown gravy. If you bought these products, the FDA is urging you to not eat them, but instead throw them away or return them to the store. A new E. coli outbreak has health officials working to find the common link. So far, at least 17 people in 7 different states were infected with the bacteria. There have not been any deaths reported, but 6 people were hospitalized. Symptoms of E. coli typically begin 2 to 8 days after consuming the bacteria. Investigators have not traced the outbreak back to anything specific just yet. All right, time to head over to the kitchen and say hello to our guest today, Chef John Ford from Jack Dusty at the Ritz-Carlton in Sarasota. John, great to have you back in our kitchen. What's on your menu?
Oh yeah, great to be back. Sounds like one more reason not to have Salisbury steak, it seems. We're gonna go ahead and do a nice little asparagus salad today, just sort of celebrate spring and summer. And it's going with a truffle vinaigrette, some poached eggs, and guanciale.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Florida Studio Theater presents Blue Suede Shoes, celebrating the birth of rock and roll. From the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry, to the king himself, Elvis Presley, this musical review features such great hits as Rock Around the Clock, Mustang Sally, Johnny B. Good, and of course, Blue Suede Shoes. Critics are calling Blue Suede Shoes a burst of rock history, dynamic and high voltage. Audiences are calling it phenomenal. Blue Suede Shoes has been held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
When money's tight and emergencies arise, CashNetUSA.com is available 24/7 to deliver quick loans for approved customers when they need it the most.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
Choral Artists of Sarasota presents Saints and Singers. The powerful voices of the 40 choral artist singers are joined by acclaimed mezzo-soprano Amy Jo Connors, performing John Rutter's arrangements of such beloved spirituals as Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho, When the Saints Go Marching In, and more. The concert also features medleys highlighting hits from Broadway and the sublime music of Cole Porter. Sunday, April 15th, 7:30 p.m. at First Church, Sarasota. Tickets and info are at choralartistsarasota.org or by calling 387-4900.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Welcome back. If Disney World is the happiest place on earth, a house for sale right down the road from the theme park may just be the second happiest. Jennifer Ortega has more on how one couple turned their home into a Disney lover's dream.
I don't want them to leave. I really don't. Best neighbors you could ever ask for. I mean, they love children.
This Windermere house is anything but normal, and it's officially on the housing market. The listing public on Zillow showing every room in the house decked out Disney style. From the front door greeting, this Mickey Mouse kitchen, to 6 bathrooms, including Tinkerbell flying above. Neighbors say it's what this family does for the holidays that has turned them into a fan favorite in the community.
Every nook and cranny of that house and lawn was a solid figure of Disney, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck. When people ask where I live, the landmark is, oh, you know the Disney house? And that's it. And I'd be like, well, I live across the street.
The listing on Zillow shows a house on the market for $888,000, being viewed over 120,000 times in the last month. Neighbors tell us the 7-bedroom house gets a view of the Magic Kingdom's fireworks every night over the lake, sitting just 3 miles north of the Disney park.
I have the view of the lake. I have their house. It's just great. Every time I see them working in the garage, and I go like, you're breaking my heart. I don't want you to leave.
No buyers just yet, but neighbors say it's bittersweet, and it'll take a special kind of Disney fanatic to buy and love the house just as it is.
All right, time to get over to the kitchen. John is with our guest today, Chef John Ford from Jack Dusty at the Ritz-Carlton, Sarasota. Guys?
John, always a pleasure to have you here. You're innovative chef, I'd have to say, is what you are.
We try. We absolutely try at Jack Dusty. We try to take as much as we can from that we learn from around the world, different techniques, new techniques, old techniques, and try to bring them together. Today I want to kind of go a little back to basics, okay? I want to show us how to make a nice asparagus salad, one, but also how to do a couple basic kitchen procedures, basic kitchen components that we can utilize everywhere. So we're going to start with our asparagus that we're making for our salad.
Okay.
And we want it to be nice and green. So we're going to get our water boiling hot, rolling boil.
Speaking of basic things in the kitchen, can I ask you a couple questions about asparagus?
Absolutely.
When you get asparagus, when it comes to you in the kitchen there and you're starting to prepare it, how do you know what parts to cut off? And,
yes.
And do you have to trim it? Do you have to like skin it?
You don't have to shave it, but it is fancier. It is a little bit nicer. It takes some of those extra fibers away. But what I always do, and I don't have a fresh one here for you, but what I always do is I take the stem and I just naturally break it. And wherever it naturally breaks, that's sort of where those fibers are developed.
So you just hold it at each end?
Yep, and just snap it.
There you go.
And you can take one bunch, snap one, and then you kind of see where they are. So we're going to drop this into the boiling water, and what you need there is the boiling water, because that's going to bring, see, it's already turning beautifully green, and that's going to bring your chlorophyll out, but you don't want to leave it in here too long. It's about 30 seconds you want to leave it in here.
That's it?
That's it, and maybe a little bit longer if you have those big jumbo asparagus, but really you do not want to kill that chlorophyll, and it's not only going to turn it to a color you don't like, but it's also going to overcook your asparagus and make it a little bit bitter. Okay, so naturally bitter. So we have it salty like the sea. That's also going to preserve that green color, and it's going to season your food, because you want your food to be seasoned and absorbed. Okay, and then once it's in here for the allotted time, we shock it, right? Plunge it right into some ice water, and that's going to immediately stop the cooking, and preserve your green color. Okay? And now, the key to this, and why I say it's back to basics, because this teaches you about mise en place. Do you know mise en place?
I do.
Excellent. So, you don't have time.
But explain what it is.
Absolutely. So, everything is in its place, right? And everything is where it is for a reason. Because when you only have 30 seconds to cook something like this, and it's imperative that it gets right into the ice bath, you don't have time to walk around your kitchen and try, wait, did we get the ice? Do we have ice? What's going on? You don't have time for all that.
Everything
so
prepared
everything has to be right there, ready to go. So, we're going to move on to our vinaigrette. Now, making a basic vinaigrette is a lot of fun, but you always have to structure it in a way. There's a foundation, and then there's creativity and flavor. So we're going to start with our shallots, garlic, and thyme. Okay, and that's your flavor component. And then we're going to add our acid, which is going to be red wine vinegar, and our emulsifier, which is Dijon. It can also be egg yolk. It can also be like a puree. It can be all types of different things. Making a little mess, but I have my mise en place, so it's no big deal.
My wife once asked me why I like cooking in the kitchen, and I said, it's the adult version of playing in the mud.
It really is. It really is. It's a lot of fun. We really are stealing here, you know. We're making money and really just having a lot of fun doing it. So what we're going to do, and another technique I use if I'm by myself, is I wrap a little cloth around the bowl. That way I can stream in the oil slowly without having to have a partner. But it's always fun to have a partner, isn't it?
There you go.
All right, so we're going to start with our olive oil, vegetable oil base. And we're just going to...
30 seconds left.
Yeah, so we're going to just lightly stream that in so it becomes emulsified. And then once that becomes emulsified, we're just going to finish it with a little nice truffle oil, which is going to be a nice addition to the asparagus, egg, and guanciale. Guanciale is a pork's jowl that we shave like a prosciutto, and it adds a really nice depth and luxurious flavor to your dish. You can find it at any Whole Foods, and that's what we use to top off our asparagus salad.
Excellent, and the finished product is right here. It looks absolutely excellent. It's available at Jack Dusty's. We have incidentally on our website, mysuncoast.com, on the dining link button, it'll take you right to the video instructions. John, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
From Jack Dusty's Restaurant, no doubt this is going to taste absolutely fantastic. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in a car accident, the state of Florida only gives you a specific amount of time to file a claim. So act now, give us a call.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Get to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota for big savings during the spring sales event. Get KBV's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $23,999. Or save big and get the new Chrysler 300 Touring with an MSRP over $30,000 for just $21,999. That's a savings of over $8,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota today.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. The 20th Annual Sarasota Film Festival kicks off tomorrow.
We'll talk to a local high school graduate who now has a movie career in Hollywood. Chelsea Gonzalez is back for the weekend. We'll talk to her about her film in the film festival. John?
So we'll watch a big ridge of high pressure give way to a frontal boundary over the weekend. Could be severe weather.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now, we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders Innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
Get all the local information you need before you leave home in the morning. Watch Good Morning Suncoast weekdays on ABC 7 to get breaking news, plus first alert weather and traffic focused on where you live. ABC 7, we're here for you.
Coming up, how former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon is trying to derail the Russia investigation. Plus, President Trump's next pick for Secretary of State is grilled at his confirmation hearing, and why a Northport Middle School student is facing criminal charges for making verbal threats.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. The Washington Post is reporting former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon is pushing a plan to derail the Russia investigation. The president has called out Robert Mueller on Twitter after federal agents searched the home and office of his personal attorney. ABC's Janae Norman is in Washington with more.
The Washington Post reporting ousted White House chief strategist Steve Bannon is pitching a plan to undercut the Russia investigation. According to the Post, the plan would include President Trump firing Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, ceasing cooperation with special counsel Robert Mueller, and exerting executive privilege.
I don't have any personnel announcements at this front.
The White House once said the president didn't intend to fire Mueller or Rosenstein, but the tone has changed since federal agents raided the home, office, and hotel room of President Trump's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen.
Mr. Cohen, why do you think they raided your office in the hotel room? Have you talked to Mr. Trump about a pardon?
Sources tell ABC News those agents were looking for documents related to this now infamous Access Hollywood tape and discussions Cohen had relating to it.
You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the
ABC News has learned the search warrant involves looking into Cohen's personal finances and for evidence of potential election violations or secret cash deals. The president calling the raid unthinkable.
Here we are talking about Syria. We're talking about a lot of serious things with the greatest fighting force ever. And I have this witch hunt.
And right now, there's a bipartisan effort underway in Congress to protect Robert Mueller's job. Even Republican leaders have warned the president directly any move to try to fire Mueller would be a mistake. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
Happening right now, CIA Director Mike Pompeo is in the middle of a Senate confirmation hearing. This is a live look of that going on now. He's President Trump's nominee to step into the Secretary of State role vacated by Rex Tillerson. Pompeo is facing tough questions because of several major international challenges on the horizon. And Pompeo's experience does not directly correlate with them. So far, senators have grilled Pompeo on his track record, tolerating torture, and past comments that some have viewed as Islamophobic. An update now on that deadly bus crash last week in Canada. Doctors say another victim has died from their injuries. Dana Bronze was the athletic therapist for the Humboldt Broncos hockey team. The team's bus collided with a transport truck on April 6, killing 15 people. Many of those killed were Humboldt Broncos players. 11 people are still in the hospital and 3 of them are in critical condition. A fund to provide mental health support has been set up for hockey teams in that area to help cope with this loss. And we're learning new details about a sex scandal facing the governor of Missouri, who's now fighting back after release of a new report detailing affair allegations that has him facing a felony charge. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
Missouri Governor Eric Greitens got into office touting his family values.
I am a very proud husband and father.
Now the one-time Republican rising star is having to defend himself against allegations of sexual assault.
Let's call this what it is. A political witch hunt.
This was not a witch hunt. I stand by the committee's report.
A newly released report from the GOP-controlled state legislature accuses Greitens of forced sexual encounters with a woman he's previously admitted to having a months-long affair with before running for office in 2015.
5 Republicans and 2 Democrats wrote this report, which is why you're not hearing him basically say it's all politics.
Greitens always maintained the affair with his hairdresser was consensual, but she claims that he blackmailed her and her husband to stay silent. Now, according to the new report, she's going a step further, saying he bound and sexually assaulted her. He denies her claims, but in the more than 25-page report, she accuses the former Navy SEAL of forcing a bear hug on her as she was crying and trying to leave his basement before what she says was their first sexual encounter. Earlier, she says he tore her shirt, exposing her against her will. She also accuses Greitens of striking her, spitting in her face, and calling her obscene names. Greitens is already charged with a felony for invasion of privacy, accused of taking a nude photo of the woman without her permission.
People are turning that personal mistake into a political spectacle.
Greitens will go on trial for that invasion of privacy charge next month, but already lawmakers on both sides of the aisle in Missouri are calling for his resignation. Maggie Bruley, ABC News, New York.
All right, time again to get a check on our, I don't know, what would you call it? Perfect?
Exquisite,
Yeah,
extraordinary,
that's
perfect.
good.
Perfect
Yeah.
works for me. Yeah,
It's
it
nice out.
really is. I mean, for April,
Yeah.
because when you get into April, you know, the sun angle's a little bit higher, so the temperatures are a little bit warmer. So you still get this low humidity air like we would normally see in, you know, February or something. And the temperatures are a little bit warmer, so it doesn't have quite that chill sweater weather in the air. It's great.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. Won't last long. Obviously, it's April, so, you know, we'll be back into the higher humidity here in 48 hours. Tampa Bay, Sarasota Bay webcam shows absolutely gorgeous sky out there, deep blue sky. I mean, the morning was exquisite. I mean, you could see stars. It was just fantastic, the view this morning before dawn. And we'll probably see a similar sort of situation again tomorrow morning. You've got Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn all kind of lined up there in the pre-dawn hours in the southern sky, so it's worth taking a look if you're up that early. Otherwise, we're looking at a few scattered showers over on the other coast, and could be a rip current issue too, by the way, over on the other coast in the next couple of days, just because winds are kind of strong over there, picking up. We're looking at the scattered showers kind of remaining, basically the problem with the other coast, because they'll die out before they ever get here. Our temperatures will top out about 4 or 5 degrees warmer than we are right now, topping out, I'd say, about 82 degrees. We'll go with 81 by 3 p.m. and then as we head into the evening hours, we'll drop back down into the 60s. There's some changing weather coming up this weekend, Scott. We'll talk about that in a few.
All right, John, thank you. A Bradenton man is heading to prison for up to 16 years for producing and possessing child porn. 40-year-old Paul Solis was also ordered to serve 25 years on supervised release after he was released from prison. Solis pleaded guilty in November to taking explicit photos of a child in his care and then hiding them on a flash drive in his home. He also had more than 4,000 videos and images of child porn on a laptop computer. A Northport Middle School student is facing criminal charges. Northport police say a 13-year-old student at Heron Creek Middle School made a comment about weapons to another student, and then that second student reported it. After interviewing the boy and his parents, they found he did not have any access to firearms, but he is being charged for those verbal threats. Police are encouraging parents to talk to their children and let them know that comments like these are taken seriously. The new state budget is not kind to local arts organizations, and now groups are worried about future funding. Last year's $11 million budget in cultural and museum grants has plummeted to just under $3 million. It's money shared by 480 organizations statewide. Some places that were going to receive a $150,000 grant will now see less than $10,000.
We are one of the richest arts and cultural areas of the country, and the lack of funding for the state art grants this year is going to cost Sarasota County organizations about $3 million in direct funding.
I've been a huge advocate and a believer of that every dollar we put in, gives us back a tenfold return, and I will do all I can moving forward to continue to fight for every dollar that I can.
Grutter says between Hurricane Irma and adding resource officers to schools following the Parkland tragedy, the focus on the newest budget needed to shift. Punta Gorda Airport breaking records. The Charlotte County Airport Authority reporting the month of March was the busiest in the airport's history. The airport had nearly 100,000 more passengers this year than the same time last year. The facility has also had more air traffic in general, with more than 8,000 takeoffs and landings just last month. A former Suncoast resident who now lives in Hollywood is back this weekend to show a short film she produced in the Sarasota Film Festival. Chelsea Gonzalez graduated from Out of Door Academy before going on to graduate from Syracuse University. She has been acting in a number of shows in Hollywood the past few years, including The Mindy Project, Castle, and Criminal Minds. She says it's a dream come true to come back to Sarasota and show her film in the local festival.
I love festivals and films, and I've been getting into a bunch of them with my film, which is really exciting. But my number one was that I wanted it to be able to bring it to Sarasota and show it to all the people that, you know, got me inspired to be in the entertainment industry in the first place.
I'll bring it, Stat.
And I will have...
Her 7-minute film is called Suzanne and the Man. It's about her experience as a woman in Hollywood, especially around men who over-explain everything. She calls that mansplaining. Look for it in the Sarasota Film Festival this Saturday at 6:15 and Sunday at 7:45 p.m. And the film festival, remember, opens tomorrow night. The Tampa Bay Lightning are trying to make it back to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 2015, and tonight they begin that process by taking on the New Jersey Devils in Game 1 of that series. 4 key players for the Lightning are making their playoff debuts, and Captain Steven Stamkos, who missed the final 3 regular season games with a lower body injury, will suit up and play tonight. The Lightning are 0-3 against the Devils this season, but it's now the playoffs and things change. The puck drops at 7 o'clock tonight at Amalie Arena in Tampa. Happening today here on the Suncoast, it's the grand opening of the newly constructed soccer fields at Eastwood Park. The opening ceremony will begin at 6 o'clock at the park on Cornelius Circle in Sarasota. After that ceremony, kids will get some free training from local soccer coaches. Still to come in your Suncoast News, how Uber's new pilot program will let strangers rent your car for part of the day. We'll have the details when we come back.
Fun for the whole family, the 26th Annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, benefiting special athletes of Sarasota County, fossil vendors, arts and crafts, food, children's games, and live entertainment with headliners the Gator Creek Band on Friday night, Rockin' Rogues, Maiden Cane, Glass Onion, Kettle of Fish, Paisley Craze, and the Boogeymen. Admission $4, children 12 and under free. Parking is free. The annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, April 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Venice Airport Festival Grounds.
CashNet USA is trusted by over 2 million customers.
Perfect. When I lean back, I trust that you will be there to catch me.
Okay, bad idea, bad idea.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
20 years ago, the moviegoers of Sarasota looked up at the silver screen and wanted something more. And they got exactly what they wanted. 20 years of some of the best independent films from around the world. The most iconic Hollywood stars walking the red carpet. The most glamorous parties in Southwest Florida. 20 years building up to the most exciting announcement in, well, 20 years. At the Sarasota Film Festival, April 13th to the 22nd.
Choral Artists of Sarasota presents Saints and Singers. The powerful voices of the 40 choral artist singers are joined by acclaimed mezzo-soprano Amy Jo Connors, performing John Rutter's arrangements of such beloved spirituals as Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho, When the Saints Go Marching In, and more. The concert also features medleys highlighting hits from Broadway and the sublime music of Cole Porter. Sunday, April 15th, 7:30 p.m. at First Church, Sarasota. Tickets and info are at choralartistsarasota.org or by calling 387-4900.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
8 degree air temperature, 78, and a 54-degree dew point. That's a very comfortable combination. And as we head into the afternoon, I think that will continue. This tan color that you see here, that's dry air aloft. And that's the reason for our blue skies, and also the reason that over the last couple of days we are watching that drier air kind of lift our fire danger index just a little bit. 81 degrees by 3 p.m., 76 by 7 p.m., and as we head into the evening, we'll drop into the 60s and wake up tomorrow morning probably in the mid-60s. So here's today's fire danger index, and we've gone from the low category, which is what we had to start the day off yesterday after the recent rains, and now we're in kind of a moderate category, and even in Charlotte County, we're in very high category. because of the dry air that's in place. So an indication of how quickly the fire danger can change with the absence of any kind of moisture and very low humidities. That's the way it is today. That'll probably change over the weekend, though, because we have some very cool air back to the west. You can see the temperatures in the 30s from Billings, Salt Lake into Reno, into Nevada, back up toward Minneapolis. There's a frontal boundary kind of stretched across the northern tier, and that frontal boundary will be advancing. As it does so, high pressure retreats into the Atlantic, and our winds turn easterly and eventually southeasterly. It takes the moisture from the Atlantic, transports it into our area, and gets the pump primed, as it were, for a few showers around on Saturday, or Sunday rather. That frontal boundary approaching Florida will help provide the lift necessary to take a few of those showers on Sunday and maybe make them into stronger thunderstorms, perhaps even severe thunderstorms. And it's the reason that after a couple of really beautiful days, but increasing humidity on Saturday, I'll give a chance of thunderstorms that could turn severe on Sunday, about an 80% chance of certainly some rainfall around. This is mainly in the second half of the day, and that's why we're calling it a first alert weather day. We'll continue to watch it and see whether that actually takes place. Right now, the northern part of the Gulf waters, from like Louisiana to Tallahassee in that area, has a very good chance on Saturday of seeing severe thunderstorms. So we'll see if that actually holds together as the front moves into our area on Sunday. But it's something to keep in the back of your mind, and we'll be watching it very carefully. Then as we head into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, cooler air filters in. Very cool air for this time of year. Scott?
It is. Thank you, John. In consumer news, the deadline to submit your taxes is coming up on Tuesday. So what does Congress repealing the Affordable Care Act's individual mandate mean to you? Here's ABC's Rebecca Jarvis with more.
Congress has replaced the Affordable Care Act individual mandate, which required everyone to carry a minimum level of health coverage. So what does that mean as you file your 2017 tax return?
They did repeal the individual mandate, but they didn't repeal it until 2019. So for people who are filing their taxes right now, and for people when they're filing their taxes next January, you're still going to have to declare your health coverage status.
For the 2017 and 2018 tax years, you'll still be subject to a penalty if you don't have health insurance for yourself and family members and don't qualify for an exemption.
The penalty is $695 per adult, and up to a household, that would be $2,085 is the penalty, or 2.5% of your gross income, depending on which is higher. So that penalty can be pretty steep.
For those who itemize deductions, the new federal tax law allows U.S. taxpayers with medical expenses that exceed 7.5% of their income to claim those deductions on their returns for 2017 and 2018. After that, the expenses must exceed 10% of their adjusted income in order to be deductible. And for anyone who uses a flexible spending account to cover out-of-pocket medical expenses, the rules have not changed. Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, New York.
Sears is looking to cash in on what is perhaps its most valuable asset, real estate. The troubled retailer is partnering with an online auction platform to sell 16 profitable store locations. Sears has faced sagging sales for years, but many of its stores sit on prime real estate. 200 investment groups have expressed interest in the stores, and they will bid on the locations in real time on an online platform sometime after May 1st. Two streaming services in the entertainment world are now teaming up, hoping to attract more subscribers. Spotify and Hulu unveiled a new subscription bundle this week. For $13 a month, subscribers will get access to Spotify's ad-free music and Hulu's basic package. If you're already a Spotify premium subscriber, you can take advantage of the offer now. The deal will be offered to new subscribers this summer. Hulu and Spotify also offer a $6 per month bundled service for college students. Uber is expanding its transportation options again. The ride-sharing service is launching Uber Rent this month in San Francisco. This allows users to rent someone else's car for as little as an hour, and then lets car owners decide for how long they want to make their vehicle available for rental. The move is a part of a greater effort to offer car ownership alternatives. Uber also plans to add options for bikes and buying transit tickets to its app. Still to come in your Suncoast News, how the viral sensation Yodeling Kid is now being honored in his hometown. We'll have that story coming up next.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that, and with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Florida Studio Theater presents Blue Suede Shoes, celebrating the birth of rock and roll. From the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry, to the king himself, Elvis Presley, this musical review features such great hits as Rock Around the Clock, Mustang Sally, Johnny B. Goode, and of course, Blue Suede Shoes. Critics are calling Blue Suede Shoes a burst of rock history, dynamic and high voltage. Audiences are calling it phenomenal. Blue Suede Shoes has been held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC 7 wherever you are. On our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC 7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC 7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
Grab your grass skirts and Hawaiian shirts and get ready to party. I'm Stephanie Roberts.
And I'm Joey Panic. Join ABC 7 at this year's island-themed Best of Sarasota Bash at Selby Gardens on Tuesday, April 24th. Sponsored by Sarasota Magazine and PNC Wealth Management.
Celebrate the region's best of winners with hula dancing, Mai Tais, and authentic island fare.
Get your tickets today at sarasotamagazine.com.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
And I think he has a rivalry with the owner of the Washington Post and Amazon, and that is on full display. But clearly there's an intent to undermine the Washington Post and free media.
President Trump attacking Amazon, but its CEO also owns the Washington Post. Coincidence? I'm Alan Cohn. We always play nice at the Trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
In entertainment news, one movie sets a record, another is looking like a record breaker, and a third is more interested in law breaking. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
The end is near.
Actually, Avengers Infinity War won't even open until April 27th, but the excitement is off the charts. Ticket pre-sales on Fandango.com are not only higher than for Marvel's last mega smash, Black Panther, but for the last 7 Marvel movies combined. A Fandango rep calls it unprecedented anticipation.
You ever feel like you're waiting for something to happen?
It pains me to see you embarrass your father.
But you don't know what it is.
4 college friends try to break out of their boring lives by pulling off an audacious art heist in American Animals, based on an unlikely but true story. The film premiered at Sundance ahead of its June release, and the first trailer just hit the web. Here's a look.
This library is home to the most valuable book in the United States.
$12 million. You really need to see how easy this is gonna be. Oh, you know this from all your previous heists?
Welcome to Jumanji. Welcome to the record book. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, is now Sony Pictures' highest-grossing movie ever at the domestic box office, more than $403 million, topping Sony's previous record holder, 2002's Spider-Man. Of course, a sequel is in the works. You had to ask? In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That was a fun movie. The LA County District Attorney's Office confirms it's reviewing sex assault case involving Kevin Spacey. The case came from the LA County Sheriff's Department last week and involves some kind of incident with an adult male in 1992. Former House of Cards star and Oscar winner has been accused of sexual misconduct by several men, and he's being investigated in both the United States and England. Netflix films are not eligible to win any awards, so the company is going to skip the Cannes Film Festival next month altogether. A new rule at the festival requires all winners to have been shown in French movie theaters. Movies released in French theaters cannot appear on streaming services for 3 years, which would of course impact Netflix options in the country. Netflix could still show films during the festival, but the company is opting to not attend. Finally meet Mason Ramsey, also known as the yodeling Walmart boy. This video of Ramsey singing Lovesick Blues at his local Walmart went viral last week. He's racked up thousands of new followers and fans on Twitter and Instagram. And he also landed an interview on the Ellen DeGeneres show where he won a $15,000 scholarship from Walmart, plus a chance to perform this weekend at the Grand Ole Opry. Yesterday was even declared Mason Ramsey Day in his home city of Harrisburg, Illinois.
How about that?
He's got a good career ahead of him, huh?
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of money in yodeling.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, we have some pretty nice weather out there. Please get out and enjoy it. Bob will be in at 5 to update you on that developing storm system that could bring us rough weather Sunday.
Okay. Thanks so much for joining us. See you again at 5.